presidential candidates continue to milk the dairy state for votes as the Democratic Party's nominee makes his way back to Wisconsin. Good evening. Thanks for joining us this Sunday. I'm Lee Mills. Wisconsin's status as an all-important swing state has produced another visit by presidential hopeful John Kerry tonight as he gets ready for the biggest debates of his life. Justin Williams has more.
It is great to be back in Wisconsin again. Thank you. Thank you.
Landing at Madison International Airport for the second time in less than 2 weeks, Democratic presidential nominee John Kerry wastes little time in attacking President Bush's assessment of the war in Iraq.
The president continues to live in a fantasy land of spin. And George Bush owes the American people the truth. He owes the American people the truth, and he owes the troops the truth.
Kerry is scheduled to spend the next 3 days at Spring Green's House on the Rock Resort, preparing for a series of debates beginning this Thursday in Miami.
And he has to be prepared for anything that might come up at these debates, any kind of questions that might come up, anything that George Bush might say that he has to respond to, and really, be at the top of his game in terms of presenting his vision for America.
Democratic spokesperson George Twigg says the war represents one of 3 primary issues on Thursday's debate docket.
Loss of manufacturing jobs is another big issue, and it's one that he's going to be talking about a lot. And what he and John Edwards would do specifically in terms of the exact plans they have for creating more good-paying jobs and bringing down the cost of health care.
Twigg says the message is particularly important in a state where 187,000 people have lost their insurance since President Bush took office.
Thank you so much. You guys are great.
Twigg also took aim at what he calls a distraction tactic by Republicans who jumped all over Kerry's admitted ownership of a communist Chinese assault rifle in light of the senator's support of the recently expired anti-assault weapons ban.
People are much more concerned about, can I afford health care, can I get a good paying job, than they are about what, John Kerry may or may not have in his gun cabinet back at home.
Twigg adds Kerry will also use the time in relative seclusion to rest his ailing voice before Thursday's debate. Justin Williams, NBC-15 News.
Senator Kerry begins his 3-day stop with a town hall meeting tomorrow morning at Spring Green Middle School. But today, just as many area residents couldn't wait to sneak a peek at the Democratic nominee, Kerry himself seemed to share the excitement.
We're here. We've structured the whole day around being here.
Nearly 100 people lined the entranceway to the House on the Rock Resort Sunday afternoon, awaiting Kerry's arrival.
It's cool that he would pick someplace out of the way like this, because you'd expect him to stay in Chicago or a big city or something like that. And it's nice to see that he cares about small towns like this.
It's such a relaxing town, and I'm sure he's going to get a lot of rest. He's going to have his privacy and everything, and that's what he needs right now.
But before he begins his planning, Kerry made a stop at Main Street Pub and Grill in Mount Horeb to chat with Packers backers and, of course, sharing a mug of what else but Wisconsin beer. Kerry then headed to Dodgeville, where workers served up the senator a shake. After the quick campaign stops in the heart of southwest Wisconsin, Kerry headed for his final destination, giving onlookers a brief glimpse as he drove by.
It was fun to see him, though. He was waving. I was at the head of the line, and he seemed surprised to see a crowd out, standing in the golf course cheering him on.
But some came to cheer out of concern.
I came personally because I'm a healthcare professional, and I'm really concerned about the healthcare crisis in the United States.
We just wanted him to know how happy we are that he chose Spring Green area to come and be, and we want to extend the greatest hospitality we can to him because he's our hope.
Kerry plans to stay in Spring Green until Wednesday.
It's a celebration of labor, a celebration of liberty, and a celebration of life.
In answering the call to defend our ideals, generations of brave Americans have left home and family to protect our great nation. Some never to return.
Men and women like Cliff Syverud were honored Sunday by hundreds who gathered at Calgary Gospel Church. Syverud fought during World War II, his memories forever emblazoned in his mind.
On March the 7th, we went to Berlin, a first daylight raid on Berlin. If you can imagine this, we lost 60 bombers on that mission. And when a bomber goes down, 4 men are killed, 6 are wounded.
But now new soldiers are making new memories. And many families celebrate Veterans Day more intimately this year.
I have such an appreciation for these veterans. I have such an appreciation for their families that they left behind during their times of duty and how they survived it. They're my inspiration.
A lot of people take it for granted that, or think that, you know, it's the politician that gives us our rights, or it's you know, certain organizations. Actually, it's our soldiers that give us our rights. They fight for our freedom every day.
And they don't regret their sacrifice.
We don't ask why, we just serve. This is our country, and I'm proud to be a member of the Armed Forces of the United States of America.
Every year, veterans are thrown into a spotlight they didn't ask for, but they definitely earned.
We love it. I think it's one of our favorite sports.
And this weekend, cross-country skiers get to hit the trails in a favorite spot.
I love coming downtown anyway, so this is a really different experience.
This is the course for the Capitol Square Sprints.
We have Olympians and athletes who is going to be in the World Championship for U.S. ski team, and we have U.S. ski disabled team who participate in the Paralympics. So that's a really big deal.
Another big deal, bringing truckloads of snow to spread a course surrounding downtown.
I wish I would have seen them trucking it in last night.
Crews dumped more than 80 loads overnight in frigid temperatures.
It makes it a lot harder, but one thing for sure, we won't lose any for melting.
In fact, skiers say it's just right.
Everybody seems to be moving pretty quick, and it's a real fast course because just the cold weather.
I'm hot right now. I just went around 3 times, so I'm actually sweating.
The snow is really good condition for skiing the way they've groomed it, and it's a real blast.
Especially in the shadow of this.
It's just really a cool thing to be able to ski around the Capitol.
It's kind of surreal, you know. My first thought was, do I cross on a red or not?
In Madison,
I'm hoping that it turns into an annual event.
Dana Bruick, NBC-15 News.
Med-Flight, ambulances, and rescue crews, they were all at Madison West's high school this afternoon with a very important lesson to teach. NBC-15's Natalie Swaby was there and joins us now to explain, and it sounds pretty serious, Natalie.
Well, Becky, it looked like a frightening sight, but it was actually students putting on a demonstration for their peers to warn how dangerous drunken driving can be. It is a lesson that comes just in time for what is often considered a deadly season for teens. Oh my God! Is he okay? Is he awake? Crashed cars and high school students covered in blood. Police are first on the grisly scene that claims 1 life and injures 2 others. Fortunately, this is only a demonstration. Unfortunately, scenes like this are all too common, especially this time of year. Some of these students will resist the temptation. Do you plan to drink?
No.
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 You made the choice not to. Why?
Yes, because I'll have other people in the car with me, and I think it would be unfair to them.
Friends would be like, oh, come on, you know, do this, it'll be fun. No, but I'm totally fine with saying no.
Do you expect alcohol to play a part in celebrating?
Yeah, I expect alcohol to be at pretty much any party you go to.
If I'm with someone that I know that's not gonna drink, and I know I'm getting home safely, I will have a drink.
For the kids that do drink and drive, sometimes this does become the form of transportation. The worst months, April, May, and June.
There's a lot of celebrating going on with prom, graduations, and they see the end result.
Well, this is part of the educational process. I think this is one of the most, effective types of learning experiences that you can have.
Really, really heart-stopping. Like, those are some of my friends.
You can picture like that being like real life and that happening to your actual friends.
And it happens too often. Statistics from 2003 show 705 youth under age 21 died in alcohol-related crashes during April, May, and June in the United States. 65% of students polled for a study said they were able to get alcohol from friends and family. And now, Becky, prom is coming up, and some students we talked to who said that they will be drinking said this demonstration did make them think about finding a safe ride home.
Okay, thanks very much, Natalie.
The Circus World Museum's wardrobe department is where fairy tales take shape.
Take them both in there with you.
Glitz and gold grace its racks at every turn, like every turn of a storybook page. This year's parade theme is storybook characters like Cinderella.
Each of these costumes can have
6, 8, 10 pieces to it.
Making some of the 1,200 costumes here as heavy as the responsibility of tailoring them. Museum employees pushed up their sleeves this morning, fitting people for next weekend's Great Circus Parade.
Like the Ringlings always said, we divide the job and we stick together. And so we've got someone taking care of animals, we've got another person moving wagons around, another crew that's greasing all of the wheels.
The 2-hour parade rolls back the calendar 100 years.
So they can see some of the magic that took place years and years ago.
All week, workers will prepare antique circus wagons, groom elephants, work tigers, and hundreds of horses.
It's wild.
One sizable change in this year's parade is the bill for emergency services. City leaders agreed to pick up the tab to the tune of nearly $60,000.
Circus World Museum is part of Barrow, it's part of our heritage, part of our culture.
The city's contribution makes it one of the top donors for the event. It pays for the much-needed extra personnel from outside the city.
The revenue that we save through the city's participation goes directly into perpetuating programs at the museum,
like preservation of its artifacts or its education and outreach.
You see the smiles on the kids' faces and the grandparents' faces and everyone in between. That's what makes it worthwhile.
In Baraboo, Dana Bruick, NBC 15 News.